Good evening, good evening. What a beautiful crowd, what a beautiful venue. Ambassador Maikara, Director of East Africa Community and the Great Lakes region, and our chief guest for tonight. Your Excellency, the Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, ambassadors, high commissioners, heads of international organizations, and other members of the Diplomatic Corps. Fellow Barbadians, all 6 of you in Tigoni, members of the Caribbean community, leaders of business, industry, trade, and civil society, members of the media, Kenyans on Twitter, friends of Barbados all. Good afternoon. Like many Kenyans who have found themselves in front of a microphone, as I am now, let me assure you that mine is just to say something small. And that is to welcome you to this celebration of the 57th anniversary of independence of Barbados and the 2nd anniversary of the Republic of Barbados. At the outset, allow me to set the context for why we have chosen to do this in such a big way and why we handpicked each of you to be here with us today. 57 years ago, on this date, a collection of villages on an island just slightly bigger than Limuru sub-county determined that they would be an independent nation, that they would create a state made in the image of Africans, because let's be clear, there were no first people in Barbados when the settlers landed with Africans as enslaved people. So you are, for all intents and purposes, looking at an African and looking at Africans right now. And this new nation, where people who were brought as chattel became craftsmen of their own statehood, rightly determined that their prosperity resided in the people of Barbados, that every Barbadian had a right to be educated freely from the cradle to tertiary level, that access to healthcare should be free at the point of care, and that above all, we ran an inclusive and just society with no one left behind. Barbados is literally our ancestors' wildest dream. Independence, therefore, as a small state, in a world dominated by power, might, and special interests, is not easy. 57 years of staying true to who our founders envisioned us to be, of speaking truth to power, of taking a just stance at uncomfortable crossroads of history is not easy, but we do it. And when we find the time, we celebrate our resilience as only Bajans can. And we will celebrate tonight. Barbados has a story to tell. And the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc., the National Cultural Foundation of Barbados, my friends at Centum and Triffic, and OB Africa will help us to tell that story tonight. Ours is the story also of a woman who became the first president of the Republic of Barbados, Her Excellency Dame Sandra Mason. Of a woman who has become the voice of the developing world on climate and the chief advocate for the reformation of the global international order, the Honorable Mia Amor Motley. And it is also the story of the Right Excellent Robin Rihanna Fenty, the national hero of Barbados, whose name is known in all corners of this globe. In case you did not know, Black Girl Magic was also created in Barbados. Tomorrow, and in the coming days, I want to invite you to talk to the High Commission about where you fit in this Barbados story, whether as a visitor, an investor, or an innovator working from our shores. This event begins a campaign of strategic outreach to the Kenyan media, Kenyan businesses, and even our airline partners to reclaim that historical link between Barbados and this continent now on our own terms. And with these small words, I want to thank you for being here, and I have the honor to introduce the High Commissioner of Barbados, His Excellency William Alexander McDonald, to deliver his welcome remarks.
Wow. What I see are beautiful faces and a lake. I feel cool. Ambassador Makara, Director of the East African Community in the Great Lakes region. Ambassador Rusum, the head of our diplomatic corps, the dean of our diplomatic corps. colleague excellencies, high commissioners, ambassadors, heads of international organizations in Kenya, businessmen, business people, dear friends all, Bajans, the 6 of us. Where are we? Where are the 6? I see 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 12. There are more. We are growing. We shall take over Limuru. Distinguished guests and friends all. Thank you for again joining us as we, for the second time, celebrate the National Day of Barbados in Kenya. November the 30th is St. Andrew's Day, a day when we remember fishermen, rope makers, and all things nautical. It seems appropriate that our patron saint is responsible for casting nets and strengthening bonds. For we feel that we as a mission have cast our net widely and have created strong bonds multilaterally and bilaterally. In the period when we last spoke, on this day in 2022, we spoke of our plans, our hopes, and our agenda, and we're pleased to say that to a large extent, we have made good progress. But our agenda pales when we consider that now, more than at any time in our recent past, the world is on the brink of a set of critical cliffs that should we fall over, any one of them, it would be tragic. And sadly, it appears that we seem hell-bent on jumping off of these precipices, but with our eyes wide open. Our first and perhaps most critical challenge remains the looming, impending, present, imminent climate crisis and the devastating impacts that it will have globally and more specifically to small island developing states. Barbados, as much as any other country, has been at the forefront in engaging, dialogue, negotiating, but more importantly, towards action, towards mitigating the effects of this crisis. I commend the Bridgetown Initiative to your careful attention as it presents solutions that speak to balancing a global system that is inherently skewed to the powerful few. Our Prime Minister, the Honorable Mia Amor-Motley, has spoken of justice and balance, and we commend the initiative to your support, which, I am happy to say, many countries here have already done so. We especially thank Kenya, through His Excellency President Ruto, for his clear support on this initiative. The second challenge is that of war and rumors of war. Barbados has long held the position of friends of all and satellites of none. This ethically based position has seen Barbados being adjudged to be the country most likely to uphold multilateralism based on its over 90% alignment to the UN Charter when voting. This means that while we are small, we are willing to plot our own course and to speak with moral conviction when we call for the hostilities in Ukraine and in the Gaza to cease and to let peace reign. Barbados never has and never will support terrorism, whatever guise it takes. Neither can we support the indiscriminate attacks on civilian targets in any conflict. Our position on Ukraine and Gaza are clear and are there for the world to see. We pray for peace. Even as we pray for peace, we must acknowledge that also in our region, which has been an ocean of calm for many years, it is again troubled with the crisis that is unfolding in Haiti, a country that for 11 million people of its population, it is described as a hellhole. And it has not had peace for 219 years, since it dared to win its own liberation from slavery. In the past, Haiti has been a challenge, but in the past 10 years, the situation has devolved into a shocking state. It is with some pride that we acknowledge the step that our host Kenya has taken and put its hand up to volunteer to bring peace to our region. And we hope that this African pledge of support will be the key to unlocking the potential of Africa diaspora in the Caribbean. And in this, we pray for peace. Thank you, Kenya. Kenya, as we all know, to those of us who are privileged to serve here, is warm and welcoming, and it is truly a blessing to be here. Our work in Kenya has been marked by excellent responses from our Kenyan hosts. In the last year, we signed and executed an MOU between NTI, National Transformation Initiative, Barbados, with the AJW, the Apprentice Job Work Africa. We have trained scores of young Kenyan learners in hospitality studies, ITC, and healthcare, with the hope that this pilot will see the way for thousands more to participate. This commitment to share and receive international best practice is a hallmark of our relationship. Just as a little note, Barbados, the population is shrinking. Kenya, the population is rising. You see the link. As a High Commission, we are also fortunate to be based at Two Rivers, the home of Kenya's newest special economic zone and the emerging hub of innovation in East Africa. We are keen to see mutually beneficial partnerships between Kenya and Barbados, to see that fintechs, financial services, and young innovators cited in this hub as their gateway to Africa. So we encourage you to come to Two Rivers. Multilaterally, Barbados has assumed its share of the diplomatic burden and has accepted a seat on the executive board of UN Habitat through the generosity of our dear friend Ambassador Guerra from Chile. And so we thank her. She's here looking very modest. We are the first small island state to do so, and we've also accepted the seat as rapporteur of UNEP, the executive board, well, with both the deputy head of mission, Jovan, and myself taking up these roles. We may be small, but we are also aware of our obligations as a full member of this community, and we thank you all for your stellar support. The Africa Climate Summit again proved to be an area where Barbados had the opportunity to meaningfully participate with Kenya, specifically at the with Kenya specifically and the globe at large. Barbados congratulates Kenya on hosting the summit and thanks Kenya for extending to our Prime Minister Mia Mottley to be the keynote speaker at this event, again underscoring our increasingly close links. We congratulate Kenya on these bold steps that safeguard our very future. As a mission, we had the privilege to work with local schools as we supported their aims and aspirations, while at the same time spreading our own unique Barbadian messages deep into the heart of Kenya. Among our community engagements is that of mentorship for young people, contributing to causes that enhance the welfare of children both in Nairobi and wider Kenya. Today, we welcome you to this little slice of our little piece of paradise, Barbados, where you can sample a bit of our food, a bit of our drinks, and a bit of our culture. We encourage you to enjoy yourself and to celebrate with us, aka the party is just about to start. I'm looking at a certain corner in particular, and another one. And then I see well, okay, all of you are here to party. And if you like, we want to let you know that Barbados stands ready to welcome each of you to its shores around June next year, anyone? And we hope that this National Day will be the first time that you will consider Barbados as your destination of choice, one that will welcome you as brothers and sisters. We want you to know that Barbados is open for business. We want you to know that Barbados welcomes the establishment of Kenyan businesses in our island, and that we welcome innovators and entrepreneurs to live in Barbados on our Welcome Stamp initiative. And that we have a competitive tax regime and captives that have the potential for to make positive impacts on your company's bottom lines. 2% corporate tax. Just saying. If you want to keep on doing your thing, do your thing there. But special thanks. As I finish, I know, okay, I can see we really do have a very biased business crowd here because everybody's like, okay, stop. Well, that 2% rate again, what's that? Greedy, huh? That's fine. Special thanks must go to the very hard-working team of this mission. Now, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. This Barbados legislation led by the Deputy Head, Jovan Reid, who spoke so well as we opened, supported by the team of Simon, Derek, Jeremiah, Hines, and Emily. Give them a round because I think they really worked hard. I mean, they only started on Wednesday. We pulled this all together. Finally, I thank my family, Selena, Emma, and Haley, for being my rock and my pebbles, and for making my work easier and more pleasant as we enjoy magical Kenya. Thank you very much.
Yeah, more of that.